The glass cracked, and it sounded like a word. Not in English. Not in any living tongue. In the old language, the one sitting in my chest, the one the precursors had scattered across worlds. The fracture spread from where Bello had stood in a long, clean line, and the sound it made as it split was tonal, shaped, deliberate. A syllable. Rays pulled. Bello came back 2 steps, 1 foot on glass, 1 on cavern stone, and Rays kept pulling until they were both on our side. The door still open. The black glass world still there, framed in dark stone, and the fracture still spreading, branching, forking the way the silver veins in the red bowl world had forked, writing itself across the plane. Close it, Holt said. I couldn't. Bello had opened it with her tone, her whisper, and I did not know the return. She had set the coordinate. She would have to unset it. But Bello was on her knees on the cavern floor, shaking, staring at her hands, and she was not going to set anything for a while. The coordinate, I said. Bello, I need the number. The offset you set, she shook her head, not refusal, inability. I can't remember the tone. It left. The moment Rays pulled me back, it went. Bello had heard the edge of the language. The edge. And the edge had already slipped away, the way a dream slips when you sit up too fast. She had opened a door she could not close, and I could feel the thing beneath the glass still rising, still pressing upward against the surface of that world like a hand pressing up under a sheet of ice. I looked at the fractures, the branching silver lines in the glass. They were not random. The pattern was familiar, the way a word in a foreign language is familiar when it shares a root with your own. I had 2 words in my chest. The fractures were forming a third. It's writing, I said. What? Rays behind us, weapon raised at an open door onto another world, which is the kind of problem no amount of training prepares you for. The thing beneath the glass, it's not just rising, it's writing. The fractures are script. It is writing the third word. Holt grabbed my arm. Her grip was stronger than I expected. Don't read it. If I don't read it, we can't close the door. Bello's tone is gone. The only way to reset the socket is to set a new coordinate, and I need the language to do that. I have 2 words. Not from that, Holt said. The precursor scattered the words across the grid. They chose which worlds to inscribe. They chose the order. That thing is not a precursor, Elias. Whatever it writes is not part of the sentence. She was right. She was probably right. But the 2 words in me were pulling toward the fracture the way a compass pulls north, and the tone of the cracking glass was harmonizing with the tone already living in my bones. And every instinct I have as a linguist was telling me that this was not a forgery. It was not an imitation. The thing beneath the glass was writing in the same language because it had learned it the same way I had, by pressing its face to the words the precursors had left and reading them from the other side. 10,000 years beneath inscribed worlds. Learning. Becoming fluent in a language its jailers had carved into the ceiling of its cell. The fracture lines converged. One glyph. Complete. Whole. Burning silver in the black glass, and I could read it. Not because I chose to. Because the 2 words in my chest reached for it the way the start of a sentence reaches for the next word, automatically, the way you finish a phrase someone else begins. I did not say it aloud. I want you to know that. I did not speak. But the word entered me all the same, settling beside the first 2 like a third vertebra clicking into a spine, and the 3 together said something that neither 2 nor 1 could say. The first 2 had been a bayring. The 3 together were a name, not the name of the thing, not its title. Its name in the way that the old tongue uses names, a coordinate, a position in the order of everything. The precursors had named it. They had woven its name into the sentence they scattered across the grid. The path did not go around the waking thing. It went through its name because naming it was part of reading the grid. You cannot read the sentence without saying what it is. The door shuddered. The socket spun. Not because Bello set it, not because I set it. Because the third word was a coordinate in itself, a grammar the door recognized, and the mechanism responded the way it always responds to a complete phrase, by moving. The glass world vanished. The door closed. The cavern was dark and cold and silent except for our breathing and the low hum returning, steady, unchanged. And then Bello said very quietly, "Where did it just aim?" I looked at the socket. A new coordinate. Not the one Bello had set, not the bearing my 2 words had pointed to. Something deeper. Something further in than any number we had read. I don't know, I said, but the sentence does. Holt looked at the socket, looked at me, looked at the 3 fading points on my arm. You didn't speak, she said. You didn't say the word aloud. The grid shouldn't have heard it. No, I said. Then how did the door know?